The following podcast is a member of the Pokecasters Network. Pokecasters Network, supporting Pokemon content creators, their shows, and the community of Pokemon fans. To find out more, check out PokecastersNetwork.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook.
You know what we could do? You haven't played Sword and Shield yet, right?
I have not.
A Soul Link Sword and Shield?
Ooh.
Because Sword and Shield is like dummy easy. Like, even like, if we just like don't randomize it and just play it through as normal, like, we could Soul Link it pretty easy, I'd say.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Not a Scratch, the only podcast that believes that Scratch is an overpowered move. I am your host, your PM, your DM, your GM, Anirudh himself, and with me here fluffing so many pillows.
It's me, Muhammad. It's key to fluff your pillows every 4 hours and rotate them every 2 hours to minimize wear and tear.
That explains a lot about these pillows that I'm looking at right now. Welcome, everyone. Unfortunately, Mansoor is not with us. He is on assignment in Argentina right now.
Ooh, fun.
Festive. I think he's there on layover, though.
Oh, that's... I thought he was going to get to spend some time, see the sights, soak in the culture, maybe watch some football, but I guess not.
No, I think it's not one of those, like, quick layovers, too. I think it's one of those, like, turns into red-eye flight type of things.
It's like, I mean, yeah, but it's an overnight and like international flights. He's not gonna have a lot of energy. Shame.
Yeah,
shame.
I think it's one of those situations.
Hopefully he gets stationed there on a longer term basis at some point. It'd be nice for him.
That's the problem. It's like one of those flights. You ever have those flights where it's like there's enough time that you could leave the airport, but not enough time that you could get back through and process everything?
I have not had that experience, but I can believe it. I absolutely have. Every time I would fly through Philly to fly to the tiny regional airport near my hometown, I would have a morning flight into Philly and an afternoon flight out of Philly, and it's like, well, I guess I'm just hanging out in the Philly airport for 4 hours.
Right.
Had a fantastic conversation during one of those layovers with the dude working at the lids in the Philly airport. So shout out to him.
But welcome everyone to the first episode of Arc 5, I think.
Woo!
Maybe.
I mean, technically the second, but technically the first, but...
Look, it depends on what tangent we go on. Why do I say...
zero index or one index? The great debate of our time.
No comment. So, if you have no idea why we're referring to this as episode 0, episode 1, like it says in the title, episode 1, then you clearly haven't scrolled slightly up or down depending on your podcasting platform and the way that you've sorted things out, because there is an episode 0 where I think we spent roughly an hour trying to fix some timeline issues.
I think it went closer to an hour and a half, but something
like that. This is us prior to editing, so we actually have no idea, but something along those lines where we tried to fix the timeline, because also at this point I would hope you are caught up to the show. Timelines need fixing. First off, if you haven't,
it's because someone decided to introduce Celebi and introduce time travel.
I don't know.
And so we spent an entire arc not in the timeline that we were currently in. And then at the end of the arc, some events happened that completely shifted things. So now we're basically in a brand new timeline from the rest of the show. And we had to resolve everything that happened to get us to this point. But we are resolved. We are good. We know where we are. We know when we are. We know how we got here. For
the most part, I think, we haven't found any holes yet, and if we do, we'll patch it up as we go.
We have our duct tape ready.
Yep.
Maybe if things get really crazy, maybe I have some flex tape in the back if we absolutely need it.
If desperate times call for desperate measures.
That is break glass in case of emergency, though.
If you are brand new to the series, first off, thank you very much for joining us. I would highly recommend checking out the summary episodes that are recently released. There is one for our mini Arc 0 that kind of establishes a bit of the world and the characters. Arc 1, 2, 3, and 4, all going through the actual adventures that our players go through, and then pop into episode 0 and figure out what exactly is going on. Because the cool thing about resetting the timeline is that it's great for new people.
Yeah, if you are new to the show, this is a great time to join because
all that old stuff
there's a lot of context you may not have, but also that's all technically not canon to what we're doing anymore.
It's canon to the universe, but not canon to the
timeline.
To this timeline, yeah.
Oh God, the Not a Scratch extended audio universe has expanded into a multiverse, and now this is just terrifying.
Let's go. I'd like to introduce our new player character, Dr. Strange, who is going to be here. The entire episode is just Dr. Strange holding up one finger, and Kyle has to determine what it means.
Yeah, do I address him by Doctor? Do I address him by Dr. Strange? Do I go Steve?
You go
SS?
Steven until you say you switch back and forth between Steven and Dr. Strange.
What about Sir? I feel like if
Sir is acceptable.
I feel like if Peter Parker had to call him Sir, I have to call him Sir. I'm definitely a rung below Peter Parker.
A smidgen. You've saved enough people. I feel like you're at least you're at least in like early level Peter Parkerisms, like comic book issue number like 15,
if I had even bothered applying to MIT, I might actually be able to say that I was above him. But we'll never know the answer.
Yeah. All right, let's get away from the tangents. Normally we would do a recap of the last episode, but since the last episode was us trying to fixing the timeline, and the previous episode would have been even more chaotic, or the summary episodes.
Also, normally we don't start arcs with a recap. We start arcs with kind of, some establishing context, I thought.
Right. So let's go on to that. Kyle, who are you? What's up with you? Whether I'm asking this with Muhammad or Kyle, feel free to answer however you feel like. How you been?
I feel like it's weird for Kyle to speak into the abyss, Although now Kyle might start doing that a little more. We'll see.
Kyle out here like Deadpooling it or something.
Yeah, Kyle might just have to break the fourth wall now. But yeah, no. So Kyle is your friendly neighborhood Trico, who has, as all 10-year-old Tricos do, started his summer vacation by trying out to join these rescue guilds, and then found this, secretive organization called the Recruits of the Lost, and was tasked with saving the world because it was going to go kaboom in a year. And so Kyle set out on this grand adventure. He's made friends along the way. The Recruits of the Lost, being a secret organization, lost track of all their members. So Kyle has gone around finding new recruits and collecting these legendary items associated with the myths of legendary Pokemon, which everyone in the world is like, legendary Pokemon aren't real, but the recruits know they're real because they've met some. And so Kyle's going about collecting these items, gathering the recruits, and, trying to do what he can to avert the evil doom that faces the world. And I guess where Kyle just got left off, he had just finished a cover task he was doing with another guild of delivering a package to someone who turned out to also be a recruit. And so now Kyle and that said recruit, a Wigglytuff named Zendoran, are about to set out to, start going on more adventure to find more item and save world.
Applause.
That's probably the most concise summary I have ever given. I am so proud.
Yeah, basically.
Cleaning up the timelines makes the story a lot less complicated because I just don't have to go into any detail.
Yeah.
That was so concise. I'm just going to take a moment. I'm so happy with how that came out. I opened my mouth not knowing how long it was going to go or how straightforward it was going to be. And it turned out pretty clean.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We're gonna listen to this in post and realize it's not as clean as I think it is. But hey, back and it's like in this moment, as of recording, I am proud.
Well done. Until I text you anywhere between a couple of weeks and a couple of months from now, being like, hey.
Oh yeah, no, I cannot wait for people in the Discord to be like, actually. It'll be fun.
One point that I will throw out there for the new people that are joining us in the middle of the show, there initially was a second player character, Ralph the Machop, that was run by Mansoor in the original timeline, I guess is how we're going to call it. Ralph was going with Kyle on all these adventures. In the new timeline, Kyle is doing all this stuff by himself.
Yeah, occasionally with the help of another recruit or a member of a different guild that he is being disguised with. Because Kyle's cover in this whole world traveling adventure is he is on an exchange program between all of the normal established, well-known guilds that help people on their day-to-day, while he's part of the secret guild.
Yep. That is basically it. I'm going to plug this in here again because this is a fantastic place for new people to join us. If you have any questions, normally we do this in the midsection, but if you have any questions, feel free to join our Discord or at the show on Twitter at NotAScratchcast. We are happy to answer questions as best as we can, especially since there are probably going to be a lot of them as we shift into this new timeline. And this episode is going to generate a lot more questions, I can already tell.
It's probably going to generate more questions for me than for anyone, but yeah.
Also true.
Also, if you feel so inclined, you can send us questions via email. We have an email.
We do have an email.
We don't recommend it.
NotAScratchcast.
Or you can use do we have a contact us form on the website? That goes to our email? We might.
I think
we
so.
might.
I think so.
We might. If we do, you can use that too. Yeah, I'm just throwing these out there to make Anirudh's life chaotic.
Yeah, www.notascratchcast.com. Check that website out. There's a bunch of stuff on there. Cool. We have spent anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes doing nothing, which I feel like is
par for the course.
On par for the course. Would you like to begin? Do you want to begin the episode? We want to get back into Kyle adventures.
We've dusted off the history book. We've established where we are. We've welcomed new people in. We've welcomed old people back. I see nothing left for us to take care of here.
All right, then without further ado, everyone, let us dive on in. So, where we last left off, you fell into a bush.
Yep.
Granted, you were placed there by Celebi.
Or rather, told to be there by Celebi to
be there by Celebi.
Do the whole timeline merging thing. And this is stuff that's beyond our pay grade.
Yeah. Well, no, it's literally in my pay grade. This is stuff.
This is true. This is true. This is true.
But so as you fall into the bush, memories flooding in between these two timelines, and your head just confused as all heck, basically, trying to figure out how everything connecting. You can tell. I'll put this. I've said this multiple times, but I'll say it again. You know the differences between your timeline and the other timeline. The other timeline is the one that feels less filled, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Like you know you did all these adventures by yourself, but that doesn't feel as real as the ones that you went on with Ralph. So if you want to say there's one dominant timeline.
So you're saying that for Kyle, the timeline that is the one that was just added to his mind feels more real than the timeline he has existed in for his whole life?
Yes.
Cool.
But it's only like a month
Just to clarify.
Yes, but it's only like a month and a half-ish that is like actually changed, right? Nothing's changed with like age 3 Kyle or anything like that.
That's gonna be trippy because I thought it would be the other way around. Because the other way around, like, Kyle can kind of just play it off. This is gonna be interesting. Okay.
This is. So as you fall into the bush, you notice first off your backpack feels pretty heavy.
I'm assuming with the weird timeline crossing, there's some stuff in there that wasn't there before.
Exactly, and you can tell right now, like, okay, I know there's supposed to be some stuff in here and maybe some stuff that isn't. You open up your backpack, I presume. I don't want to speak for you, but...
Yeah, no, I think with feeling the extra weight and, like, falling into the bush, I feel like Kyle's, like he steps into this spot and then just... And it's like, oh, my goodness. And so he, like, kind of picks himself up, feels his bag's a little heavier, and, like, checks his bag to, like, see what's in there, checks on Manaphy, make sure Manaphy's okay. And, like,
sure. Do you just open your bag? We've also never actually described what these bags are. Like, are they satchels? Are they, like, large handbags? Are they actual backpacks?
I was going to say, in my mind, it was always a backpack.
Okay. All right.
So,
do you open up the backpack, I guess?
Kyle's gonna, like, rummage through open the backpack, rummage through, like, see what's in there, make sure Manaphy's in there and okay, right? Yeah. Manaphy was inside.
Well, I think you brought Manaphy out. Celebi insisted that you brought Manaphy out. Because as the timelines merge, Manaphy has to be in the backpack, otherwise that causes
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, make sure Manaphy, like make sure everything's fine, right? Make sure Manaphy didn't just like grow by 10 years.
Right. You open the backpack, and you see Manaphy. As soon as there's enough space for Manaphy to pop out, Manaphy just pops out and starts just walking over, like Manaphy just ran a marathon, like leaning on the wall, just like one of those type of feelings.
Yeah, Kyle just kind of nods, just yeah, me too.
Manaphy's got a bunch of leaves on itself and starts rubbing them off. And you can tell in Manaphy's own gibberish voice, it's just I never want to do that again. Time travel ain't for me. Except she's like, hey, yeah, I mean, but no.
Yeah, I think Kyle, he's gonna set it he's gonna delay the rummaging through his bag for a little bit, just go over and give Manaphy a pat on the head, just it's okay, child, it's okay.
Manaphy staring into your soul, just stares directly into your eyes, just no.
Kyle's just giving a look of understanding, just I know.
Manaphy starts turning around, continues to clean themselves up. In your bag, you notice, I guess this is the best way to describe it, the items that you feel like you should remember in timeline B, which we're calling there's timeline A, which is the one that matters and the show's been about, and timeline B, which is the one that exists.
This Kyle has been existing in this whole time.
Right. So B is the one that doesn't really matter. A is the one that does matter. I'm going to throw this out there, not just for our sakes, but for everybody else's as well. The items that were in your bag in timeline B start to fade from your memory, and the items in timeline A start to get back into your memory. They take over at that point. And you notice that not only are your items from all of your shenanigans in the future, or the past, I guess, in the past there, you see some of Ralph's items have popped into your bag as well.
Interesting.
And of course, you notice that there is a large drum.
Does it look somewhat fiery?
Not yet, but you get the vague feeling that if you hit this a couple of times, it's going to start turning your bag on fire. Probably due to the fire. Let me confirm what this looks like, but I want to say the fiery drum is very clearly indented that it's the fiery drum.
Yeah, I was going to say it definitely has some fiery markings on it, I would think. It's not on fire, but it just has markings of fire.
It's got a post-it note on it that's please, warning, flammable when hit.
Flammable when drummed.
Yeah. You can, as memories start to merge back in, you're oh, this is the fiery drum. Oh wait, this is the fiery drum.
Yeah. As soon as Kyle has that realization, he's just gonna try and just pop into the dream world real quick to put it away with the rest of the items he has been doing this whole time.
Make a perception check.
Perception. This isn't what we usually roll. Doesn't matter. I got a 16.
Okay. Before you pop into the dream world, you hear from inside the house a voice. And since you got a full success, I will tell you what that voice is. You hear Sandoran just basically being hello. Hey, Kyle, are you okay? Are you still? Did you leave already?
I thought Kyle told Sandoran, I need to step out for a second. I'll be right back.
It's been, I'd say, multiple minutes.
Oh wow. Okay. So we time travel. Okay. I guess that wasn't as clean as Kyle had hoped. I guess before popping into or does Kyle want to show Sandoran?
You could go with. You could go with. I mean, Sandoran knows what's going on, right?
Yeah. I think Kyle is gonna scoop up his bag, scoop up Manaphy, go back into the house, and then just go to Sandoran and hold up the fiery drum.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how we're gonna play this.
Okay, sure.
And Kyle is gonna hold up the fiery drum and just shrug as it just
Sandoran's oh hey, no. Don't tell me that's what I think it is.
Kyle just shrugs and just goes it's just it just kind of showed up, I guess.
You see Sandoran's mind going at 1,000,000 miles per hour right now. This doesn't make any sense. You could see the meme of what is it? Is it Brooklyn Nine-Nine or something with the whiteboard and the post-it notes as the guy is facepalm, it all makes sense,
This is almost like a Charlie Day Always Sunny situation.
Yeah. Just what is this? I know what this is. Why don't I know what this is?
This doesn't make any sense. Kyle's just gonna go If it helps, Celebi was involved?
At this point, Sandoran's off in his own world, just like, but that doesn't make any sense, because then afterwards, you would have to be like this, and then you'd have to go like this, and then I need another cup of tea. Just turns around and goes and...
I guess since the dream world, you just gotta pop in and out really quickly. Kyle's just gonna... Or since, like, time kind of stops when you pop into the dream world anyways, as soon as Sandoran, like, goes to make another cup of tea and, like, calm his, like, racing mind, Kyle's just gonna, all right, let's put this away.
I think Sandoran's going to join you, or at least attempt to join you.
Okay. Fair enough.
You, as a reminder, do not need to roll. Or there are instances where you will, but you don't have to right now, because you remember you learned the symbol for Dreamworldisms.
I did learn the rune. I was wondering whether I, like, fully, like, learned that or not.
Yeah, you learned it. Ralph
sweet.
was kind enough to teach you.
Sweet. Thanks, Ralph.
Sandoran rolled high enough. He pops into the dream world a second or two later.
And that's just both in the hallway, right?
Yep. Sandoran just walks straight to his room. Just like, that doesn't make any sense. Slam.
Kyle just, like, looks after him and just, like, kind of, like, just shakes his head. Just like, yeah, whatever. And then pops into his room to put the fiery drum away with, presumably, the grass cornet. And what was the other one that we have? The icy flute?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yes, the icy flute.
Yep. So you see, sure enough, grass cornet, icy flute, and now the drum.
And just punk. And then Kyle's gonna...
One more thing. Not really that big of a deal, but it's something that...
It's
not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it's something I've just, like, realized. Your room looks slightly bigger.
Huh.
Like, before it was, like, a child bedroom size. Now it looks like a master bedroom size.
That's a bit more than slightly bigger, huh?
All right, well, in the grand scheme of things. The only reason I say this is because, like, the other rooms I've implied are, like, miles long. Like, Isaac's room, I think, is, like, a literal cave with a full-on, like, icy, like, depth beneath it.
Adam's got, like, a whole forest.
So, I'm trying to say there's some point that's being made here that future me probably has a better idea what it is. But for now, your room's bigger.
So I've leveled up within the recruits. I get more real estate.
I guess basically.
I get more ethereal real estate. Nice.
There you go. That's sure enough the case. Sandoran knocks on your door a little bit, presumably asking if they can open it. You can tell because Sandoran's like knocking on the door and asking like, "Hey, Kyle."
Kyle just kind of. At this point, Kyle's like ready to leave, so Kyle's just gonna head over and open the door instead of like calling out and answering.
Hey, so, real quick, meeting.
Kyle just flashes the thumbs up and just nods his head down the hall.
Great. Just going straight down to the hall. Down the hall to.
I guess as Doran like walks away from his door, Kyle's just gonna like. Kyle has a feeling to just like look across the hall and see what's there.
You look across the hall. There is no door there. It is just a wall. However, it looks like it's been covered up.
Interesting.
So have you ever been in like the only thing I can think of are like school buildings where they used to have a door that goes somewhere and it's not going anywhere anymore, so they like it's like indented in the wall?
I don't know, like I've like lived in houses that have been like remodeled and like, you know, there used to be a doorway and it's been filled in with wall. Yeah.
Do you remember? I think this was the thing, right? In our freshman dorm, wasn't there a room that was in one of the walls? We're side tangenting now, folks. But
yeah. I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more specific.
There's like the whole story, right? Isn't that where the ghost story thing comes from?
Not the ghost story. Are you talking like in the basement, or are you talking like?
No, I think it's upstairs.
Which tower?
Oh, gosh. In like the main hall upstairs? I don't know.
Bro, I lived there.
Yeah, I did. So did I, but
No, you were in one of the other towers.
Yeah. I just remember, I think somebody telling me about this, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember there be... I was in that building for 3 years.
You were there multiple years, right?
Yeah, because I RA'd there too. Like, I would have...
Anyway, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, no. There was definitely... As far as I can remember, no sealed up doors.
Okay.
As far as I can remember.
That's kind of what this is. It's like there's like an indent in the wall, do you go to approach it, or?
No, I don't think Kyle would. I think Kyle, like, because I feel like Kyle, like, is gonna spend a bit of time trying to reconcile all these memories together, and Kyle's gonna be like, yeah, I guess there was no recruit across the hall from me and before, and there wouldn't be one now, but I guess I have the memories of there being one there. Meh.
All right, and then
not like meh, but just like okay. I guess this is how this reconciles.
This is a point. This is a fact, and I will figure out what that means later. Like,
yeah, like this might be important to know later, but right now there's no one across the hall from me in the dream world.
Cool. Away you go. I proceed.
Over to the Mew room.
Over to the Mew room. You pop in, and sure enough, the Mew room. You know a lot more about this room as the memories start to continue to pop in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I guess the best way to describe it is your memories of the original timeline are still there, and every time you experience something that you've experienced in that old timeline, it just like floods in even more.
Yeah, like there's a whole lot of deja vu.
Yeah, it's not just like your memories of popping in here every now and then for meetings, but it's also, in the past, I know what like everything means here. I know there's a forest back there, even though I can't see it anymore. I know the pavilion used to be like this place, now it's this place. I know why the pink looks old. It's because it used to be new back then. I mean, you could probably put that together without the time travel, but that's also, I know why that's the case.
Yeah, it's like, time does pass in this world. That's interesting.
I know.
Like things age.
Shoot, I can't remember. I think I made a joke that like Reggie Steele made the stairs, or not the stairs, the chairs, or something like that. Maybe. You know that fact that I can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know something you don't. Haha, GG.
And as you walk in, sure enough, everybody that you know is here. No new members, no different members, or anything like that. It is the same squadron of folks.
Cool.
You see Isaac, you see Pearl, you see yourself, you see Mrs. Quagmire, you see Sandoran, you see Aaron, you see Adam. The entire squad is here.
Now, what's interesting is I feel like in this timeline, we just had a meeting introducing Sandoran and making a game plan like 15 minutes ago, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Sandoran called this meeting, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like,
Sandoran wants to share the fact that, hey, we found a legendary item in 15 minutes without trying.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as you pop in, you're the last one to pop in. You're casually walking over to the pavilion. And you can see Sandoran's inner orator is coming out. It's just like a full-on storm. Like, it was sensational. I don't understand it. You know, it was incredibly amazing. Walked out. Went to. I heard like a crashing noise as if Kyle just fell somewhere. Came back in. Fiery drum. And then just like points in like just gesturing downwards without any item there, and you just happen to walk into place. Fiery drum. Kyle, see, like.
Kyle just like walks up, and he only caught the tail end of it, and he's just looking around at everyone with a very like a what's going on kind of face.
Just like, hey, what's up?
And it's like, all right, what are we doing here? What's up?
Everyone at this point very shell shocked. Adam's just like, that's surprising. I mean, you know, it normally takes an entire arc to find a drum. You found it in 15 minutes.
Kyle at this point just kind of shrugs and just like, does it make more sense if I say Celebi was involved?
Mrs. Quagmire, no. No, it does not. That adds a lot more questions, Kyle, than everything else. It just dawned on me. I think Mrs. Quagmire like exclusively talked to Ralph. You see, it feels so uncomfortable to be like to say Kyle's name in Mrs. Quagmire's mouth. I'm not sure why. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean that. I feel like that just has to do with the fact that Ralph did all of the talking before.
That's also probably true.
Yeah.
No, it opens up a lot more questions, but you know what? We're gonna take the celebration, right? I think we might as well, big dub. Aaron.
Kyle just gives a thumbs up, just like, yep.
Yeah. Adam's like, all right. Well, this may change things because now we don't have to go to the volcano because you've got it here somehow. Sure. Okay. Adam pulls out the map of the region. I don't know why I forgot what the place was called. Pulls out the map of the Outcast region, opens it back up, and just spreads it across for everyone to see. Make a... What's the roll called? What would be best here? Make a history check.
What's my modifier? Is it +1? What's my smart? Oh wait, why am I saying this like it matters? I got a 4 plus 1 is 5. Yeah. I need it to be closer to 10 for it to matter. Whoops.
What's my smart? Plus 15. Got it. Something about this map is giving you like a weird sensation, like something in the back of your head, but you're not sure what. Maybe it's an old timeline thing.
Interesting. Could I as Adam's explaining things and breaking down the new game plan, could I inspect this map to see if anything looks wrong?
Sure. Make an investigation check.
You've got to be kidding me. 4 plus 1 is 5.
Oh boy. Map looks the same as always, and I think this is one of those instances where a new timeline is covering up the old timeline. In that, no, this is right. I know it's right. We were just looking at the map 15 minutes ago. I know this is right. Why do I feel like it's wrong?
I think Kyle's just gonna make a mental note of something seems off, but I don't know what it is, so I'm not gonna call it out. And just start actually paying attention.
And Adam continuing the conversation. As you fade back into the conversation, it's just okay, so that makes sense there. Is your game plan, turns to you, Kyle, is your game plan to still go east, I guess, for Menifee?
Kyle just nods.
Gotcha. Okay, so I guess, all right, let's split this up slightly differently, because I think the only plan that's confirmed right now is Sindoran and Kyle's plan to go east, figure out Menifee's task, and work along with that. There's no real need for us to meet up. This was the thing at one point. I think you were supposed to meet up with another recruit member along the way.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessary anymore. If it is, then well, that's a bit hell. But yeah, I don't think there's any need to meet up anymore. Which I guess would mean, Kyle, what do you think? What should we prioritize? The items or the people?
The people, as in looking for new recruits.
Yeah. And Adam goes on to explain. So based on the number of doors that we've got, of the 11 recruit members, we're missing 4. And of the 7 legendary items, we're missing 4. So we're at an even point at this point. Now it's kind of just figuring out which one would we prioritize. Because finding the items would make things better to, make sure they're secure. But finding the people makes it easier to find the items, right? What do you think?
Kyle's just going to be well, so far I've managed to run into the people close to the items. So
true, that is generally what's the case. You may remember this a while ago. I told you, items tend to be associated close to people, right? That's why the grass cornet was so near where you were, because it was you and Mrs. Quagmire, right? 2 people in the same area, and then Aaron as well, right? So 3 people in that same general area, an item's gonna pop up there.
Kyle's just gonna nod and just be like, so if we look for the items, and it just shrug as in to say, fill in the gap.
Gotcha, so we can find the people in the process. I guess that works. Mrs. Quagmire pops in.
Yeah, but which one do you think is easier to find? Because, after all, you've had success finding the people, you've had success finding the items, but, which one do you think we should search for?
I mean, we have clues for the items.
Are you referring to the riddles, I guess?
Yeah.
Cool. You need to remind me what the riddles are, because I gotta go find them.
Oh, do you want me to read out all of them?
Oh, wait, no, I got it. I was oh no, I gotta flip through all these pages, but I don't have to. So the remaining items for the folks at home, the Aquamonica's riddle is show the ocean rival that the mythical child trusts you.
We think we know what that means.
Yeah.
And by we think we know what that means, I think you've confirmed that we know what that means.
Probably. Hold up, I was just reading through something and I noticed an error. I wrote down something wrong and I've been reading it correctly.
Oh,
there's a typo.
Nice.
There's a typo.
Nice.
Anyway, and then there's save me from the grunts and I can save you from them. The wingless must beat me to control the weather and show the land rival that the first creation trusts you. That last one is probably the one you have the least knowledge of.
Yes, to a degree.
In that you the first creation. Who was that?
Yeah.
I mean, you know who it is probably, but who is that?
Yeah. To be fair, traveling with Zendoran, that's something that Zendoran might know.
Correct. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, and then save me from the grudge that I can save you from them. I forget what we had established in terms of knowledge of that. and the wingless must beat me to control the weather. I think all that we had from that seems like something to do with Rayquaza.
You know the funny thing? Really, really funny thing. I'm saying this for the audience purposes because this is my way of being able to persuade everyone to re-listen to episodes, maybe increasing our view count. I don't think it does, but maybe it does.
Bigger number equals better person.
Yeah. The funny thing is that I have given the answer to that the wingless defeating weather thing.
Yeah, the Sky
Melodica. Technically speaking, you know how to do that already.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's definitely one that we had figured out. I just don't remember it.
Like, not like that. Like, you could theoretically do it now.
The wingless must.
You're just missing one thing.
Control the weather.
You're not gonna. I can tell you right now, you are not gonna remember it because it was a throwaway detail. But the throwaway detail is like clutch.
Oh no! Why do you do this?
Just throw that out there. Let the audience figure it out.
Why? You know what? I'm over it. It's fine. I'll just wallow in my sadness after we're done recording.
But anyway, so I think the idea right now is for you, Sandoran, and Manaphy to head east, go to the water region, and find the ocean rival.
Yeah.
With Manaphy along the way. Cross your fingers for any other extra things, right?
Yeah, that is the game plan, and
cool.
Everyone else I think had broken up into teams to tackle the other 4, but now 3.
What I am going to instead do, because I can't remember the teams, is rather than do that, just instead everybody solos their own areas. For fear of contradicting myself, I'm going to say wherever they were at the end of Arc 3, they're going to search that area.
Wait. But there's more of that. Okay. So
somebody will find something.
That's what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others?
Let me confirm this. That is
because we have 7 out of the 11 recruits.
2,
so that's 5 others.
3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Yeah, 5 others. Yep.
5 others. Yeah, I guess there's no real good way to split them up into 3 teams. So yeah.
Yep. I think I had established teams in advance, like last time, saying that these 2 people were close and these weren't, but I don't remember them. So everyone's solo. Let's go.
Retcon, yeah.
Retcon, yeah.
No.
This is a new timeline thing.
It's a new timeline. This was the established plan all along.
Yeah, without Ralph, everybody's more solo work. Teamwork isn't a thing.
Yeah, the only difference between like 15 minutes ago and now is the fiery drum. We got it. No need to look for it. Carry on.
Yep. Cool. Any questions, comments, or concerns you would like to ask before the meeting is adjourned?
I think Kyle doesn't have anything to ask. I think Kyle's just gonna, smile and nod along, and like Kyle's good with it. Kyle doesn't have any questions to ask of anyone. So. Gotcha.
Aaron, I think at this point is like discussing with Adam a little bit about like, should I look in this area or that area? And Aaron's like, okay, so I think we've got this all in the bag, right? Yeah, Adam says as I continue to use his voice. Yeah, I think we're pretty good about this. All right, I will pop out of here. Kyle, take care. Good job finding the fiery drum. Everybody else, I'll see you when I see you. Poof.
Kyle just gives him a wave as he poofs away.
Funnily enough, now that we've established this, you see as Aaron poofs away, it's in like a cloud of smoke, like a fire.
Interesting.
Because we established like when you leave the dream world, leave in a specific way. It's heavily implied by your type. Of course, everybody usually leaves at the same time, but Aaron has left a little early. Aaron's leaving just like in a cloud of like fire smoke, like if you were looking at a fire from like a distance.
I think it's the first time Kyle's seen it. Kyle's just like, yo, that's kind of sick.
Everyone else starts popping out as well. Mrs. Quagmire, what would be cool? I'm trying to throw something out there for anybody else if you want to. This is
I was gonna say like
world building things.
I think for Pearl it makes sense that it's literally just like a flash of light because like that's kind of Ambros's thing, like literally just like beamed out.
Yep.
Kinda. See, if you're going implied by type, for Mrs. Quagmire, it would have to be either influenced by water or influenced by ground. But like, if it's influenced by a combination of the two and it could be more unique, it have to be like mud, right? Like just like slowly dissolves into the ground in like a muddy pile.
Just like quicksand, except faster. Just go like you see Mrs. Quagmire just cross her hands as if she's like giving a stern talking to a kid, and just sinks into the ground.
So something like that, yeah. And it's just like a little like puddle of mud is left behind, and then the mud disappears, and then the mud just disappears.
Cool. Okay, that's Pearl. That's Aaron. That's Mrs. Quagmire.
I feel like Isaac would just be like, like a gust of cold wind, and then just gone.
Just like phases out. Yep.
Yeah. It's almost like someone from. It's almost like Isaac, like kind of like use it, like someone like from, from someone outside of everything has like used like a powder snow or a blizzard attack. It's
just like comes from the side.
It's just like a gust of wind and ice and everything, and it's just gone.
Adam's is straightforward. Adam just teleports.
Yeah, Adam
his is the least like entertaining because it just
blinks out. Yep.
It's like a jump cut, just like that.
Yeah.
And that leaves you two. You can feel free to tell your own, but you won't see it because you'll just pop out.
I was gonna say, if Kyle doesn't see it, can Kyle describe it?
No, but feel free to describe it for the audience. And
I can give some character.
I mean, okay, so theoretically, if you were to pop out in front of a mirror, you could see yourself. But
ooh, Kyle's gonna have to try that.
Kyle's like, I want to know what I do. Runs to your room, tries to grab like a hand mirror. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pump, mirror drop, smash.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I don't think you're gonna do that though. Listen.
Yeah, no. I feel like it would have to be like some like flurry of. I don't know what would make sense because like plants are very strongly rooted, and this is, a transition that is inherently unrooted. It's not like it's just like a flurry of leaves. That's boring.
Sindoran's is pretty straightforward. Sindoran like, as he like waves, or however he would leave, he usually leaves like with a wave. As he waves, it's like sparkles are thrown into the air.
Yeah,
and as they fall, it disappears.
Yeah. I feel like it would be funny if like for Kyle it looked like the substitution jutsu from Naruto where it's just a tree trunk.
just leaves like a stump there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Greninja using substitute in Smash.
Yeah,
it's just
boom,
tree.
All right, and you all pop back out into your own time. One thing I will say, this doesn't impact you much in the grand scheme of things. We did establish this in episode 0. The old timeline and new timeline are 2 days off. Don't ask me how that works when you actually merge things together.
Oh, right,
I don't know. Did. But it is now, instead of Friday, July 15th, it is instead Sunday, July 17th.
Wait, does that mean Kyle like stepped out and was out for 2 days?
No, there's like time like.
Oh, like that moment where Kyle talks to Celebi is 2 days off in this time. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You are 2 days ahead of what you used to be.
These aren't exactly parallel, like they are slightly staggered timelines.
Yeah, there's like an extra minute added in each day. Maybe not an extra minute, but like, I don't know. There's some math involved that pushes this 2 days off. And
Earth's, or this world's orbit of the sun is actually 0.02 seconds longer, which is not long enough to affect anything about like, the ecology of the world or right. Like, the way anything functions. But it's long enough that from the inception of the world going forward, there has been a slowly growing gap in the amount of time spent in terms of like days counted in a year or whatever, which has led to a 2-day difference at this current time.
Except it only matters between like the end of May and July 15th or 17th.
Yeah.
It's only mattered in that time.
Actually, what it is at the start of summer, in the month before and the month leading up to and the month after the summer equinox, the world actually rotates slightly slower. That's what it is. June
has 32 days. There you go. Okay. All right. Anyway, you pop back out. Sindoran, still grabbing that tea. Basically popped into the dream world while rushing towards you with a cup of tea. Just continues to rush towards you now. Except now, obviously, not as much effort. As you pop back in with Manaphy. Also, Manaphy was just chilling in the bag. I don't feel like. Narrating the babbles. Needless to say, Manaphy had just developed a fantastic blitz formation that is, it will be ideal in third and long situations where they're going to pass. Anyway.
Interesting. Manaphy's a high risk, high reward coach.
This is Manaphy we're talking about. Of course, Manaphy's high risk, high reward.
That's fair.
If Manaphy could, every play would be 4 verticals.
Oh God.
On offense, on defense, special teams. Manaphy out there with Justin Tucker at wide receiver playing 4 verticals, man.
That can only end one way.
Yeah, with an extra point. That's what it's on.
Yep. This is ending in a surprise field goal.
Yes.
Like you thought the drop kick was dead.
Justin Tucker just catches the ball and immediately drop kicks it.
Listen, the art of the drop kick. It's a lost art. What can I say?
Someone signed Doug Flutie.
Was he the kicker who last did it? Was that his name?
Well, yeah, Flutie's a quarterback, but I remember there's I think in his final game he was a Patriots quarterback, and they brought him into the game to do a drop kick for an extra point.
I thought it was the kicker, not Flutie. I could be wrong.
Flutie did it. I remember this because I saw the highlight like a day ago. Anyway,
nice.
We are straying way.
It has been a year since I have seen that clip.
We are straying way off topic. Anyway, so you pop back in now. Of course, with full information about you're going east.
Yep.
Time to travel. Unlike the Westerners in America, you're going the opposite way.
We are not manifesting our destiny in that direction.
Exactly. Sindoran has packed their bag full of standard items that I will probably generate later. And you have your stuff. Manaphy has Manaphy's bag, which is basically your bag. Is there anything else that you want to discuss with Sindoran before you head out? It's also like 9 a.m.
Yeah. Did we have a game plan of how we're going there?
We walk that away. Results to determine later. This town isn't big enough for a train, so you'd have to walk. You'd have to continue walking.
Were we going to? I forget. Were we going to a major port city, or were we just going to beach?
You had not. I don't think there was anything established at that point.
It was just looking at. I'm looking at the map right now. Where somewhere in not quite middle of nowhere, but like more like the countryside in the Ventus state.
Correct. I think I gotta pull up the.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map right now just for reference, and we're going to the coastline in the Fluvius state, right?
Correct.
All right.
You're on the coast at Gale Beach, which is, if you see those 2 rivers, it's like a little bit higher up than that.
Okay.
In the Ventus area.
Yep.
And you were just basically heading east.
We could take a boat if we want to.
You could.
Another boat arc, but no. I think it is more valuable to travel across the land.
Gotcha.
Searching far and wide.
These Pokemon to understand. I don't think that's the line, but whatever.
It's each. You were close.
Each Pokemon to understand.
Yeah.
The power that's inside.
Or is it Teach? Is it Teach?
It might be Teach. Each.
I've always heard each. I've always heard each, but it's probably Teach.
Teach Pokemon.
It's probably Teach.
The power inside.
That's inside.
All right. So heading west.
Heading east.
Heading east. Yeah. Heading west means you go in the water. Heading east.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. I don't think Kyle has any real questions. I think Kyle just kind of looks at Sindoran and just motions to the door with a questioning look.
All right. Sindoran's got bags and all the materials. Time to head out, right?
It is time to head out.
Great. You guys pop out of the house. Sindoran locks the door, puts the key inside the backpack. Manaphy inside your bag, ready to continue going. This episode is a little short. Let's keep going.
I was gonna say I don't think we're ending it there.
Yeah, we're not. This is a bit too short. Now, the one downside I have is that I forgot this map almost existed. So most of the East does not have like cities or stuff. So we get to make it up.
Hey!
Hello, this is Anirudh, the GM of Not a Scratch. Thank you for listening to the first episode, officially, of Season 5. I know technically we had Episode 0 that kind of cleaned up a lot of the details, but we are back on the actual plot-related stuff now. First episode of Season 5 now here. Thank you so much for listening. As always, episodes come out weekly, so be sure to follow us, subscribe, do all those important things you ought to do when supporting the podcast. Speaking of, there's a number of things in this midsection that I want to point out to you, so stay tuned, I guess, for the next couple of minutes. If you've enjoyed the episode and want to support us in any way, shape, or form that you can, there's a number of ways to do so, but the best, easiest, and most influential is to please share us with your friends. Share us with anybody that's interested in getting on the show in the perfect spot. This being a reset of the timeline, it's a great opportunity for characters and people to come in and just figure things out along the way without feeling bombarded by a bunch of plot and extra stuff behind the scenes. So this is the prime time to do so. Also, leave us a review on your podcasting platform. Reviews help to bring new people into our community and give us advice on what we can improve on in the future. The reviews we've had already have been phenomenal for telling us what we're doing great, what we can improve upon, and I implore you, please, if you haven't already, to review the show on whatever platform you're looking at, so that way we can get some more info, gather information and make this show that much better. You can also follow us on Twitter at NotAScratchCast, or email us as well at notascratchcast@gmail.com if you have any cool ideas to add to the podcast or just want to reach out to us. We are always listening and eager to hear from the community. We also have a Discord for Not a Scratch if you want a more closer connection and have a bunch of amazing people that have already joined. You can join through the link in the description below to help build this Not a Scratch community to even higher numbers than ever before. We've got a website as well, which you can check out at www.notascratchcast.com. This website has access to all of our episodes, a merch page, which you can support us by purchasing a bunch of different awesome, fantastic items like sweatshirts and cups and all that fun stuff that you think of when you think of merch. You can check that out, again, in the description below. There's even pins. That's an exciting thing that I want to point out there. And an art page where we post commissioned and fan art. So if you send us your fan art, you might see it on our website, of course, with your permission as well. Just tag us, let us know in some way, and we'd be happy to share it on our website. Our website and merch always update over time, so stay tuned. We want to thank Glitch X City for the songs Kirby's Dream Land, the Lo-Fi remix, and Pokemon Center themed Lo-Fi Lullaby remix. We also want to thank Tabletop Audio for the songs Solemn Vow, Elven Glade, Antiquarian Study, Middle Earth Dawn, and Ethereal Plane. As well, some of the other music in this episode was produced and purchased through Humble Bundle. We also want to shout out our patrons. We at Not a Scratch have a Patreon where you can get amazing extra benefits regarding the show and its future, including early access to episodes, special behind-the-scenes looks at what goes into the game, special newscasts from the Outcast region, and more. You'll also be recognized during the show right here and right now. Thank you to our guild interns, Damon Liger, Ursa93, and Ginny, our guildmaster Eli, our governor Lord Toffee, and our wiggly goat, Pure Glaceon. For more information about anything discussed, you can check the links in the episode description or contact us on Discord or Twitter. And as we shift over to promo-related stuff, if you're interested in having a promo on the show for your podcast, we would love to help. All you have to do is send us an email or contact us on Twitter and Discord, and we'd be happy to discuss more. Now a couple of announcements and related things. As you may have noticed, the Arc 4 summary episode is not available as of right now. There's been a bunch of delays when it comes to working on that and just time-related stuff. I am hoping to release that, so if you see that in the upcoming future as a disruption in the pattern of things, I apologize in advance for the lateness of it, but I do hope that I can make it relatively quickly and not so far into Arc 5 that it just disrupts the flow of things, so I apologize for that. And then the big promo announcement that I want to point out, the brand new show on the AhdurinCast, that is, if you search up on any of your podcasting platforms, the AhdurinCast, all one word, the AhdurinCast as one word. You can check out that for a brand new series that is just getting underway, where I bring in a bunch of guests to take over a single character over the course of a number of sessions and figure out if we can solve the problem that's plaguing this town. In a combination of Pokemon and Zelda, if you're a fan of Majora's Mask, really recommend it. In a merging of those two type of content, we build a brand new universe, a brand new system, and a brand new playstyle like no other. If you're interested in checking it out, whether it's for my sake, or if you've heard of a couple of guests that are being on the show, or maybe you're a guest that I've asked to come on, all of that, regardless of what the reason is, I highly, highly recommend checking it out. The AhdurinCast, wherever you listen to podcasts. There's a link in the description at the very bottom if you want to check it out. There's a link there that leads to a page which you can then go and find your subscription. Please, 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 if you can, really quickly, subscribe to that show. Check out a couple of the entry-level stuff, because that show is huge. It's taking a lot of planning, and I, being a little selfish here, really want to see a lot of support early on so that I know it's something that people actually are interested in listening to. Apologize for rambling all this time. It is time now to turn back into the story. Let us continue the adventures in the Outcast region. Yay! First, of course, it is time for exploration, which means that we have to do something that we haven't done, quite literally, in like 7 months, which is worry about Belly.
Oh, yes!
Because
we are no longer random spirits floating about. Like, we're no longer incorporeal beings who don't worry about hunger.
Yep, you now have to care about the fact that you have not eaten anything legitimate in a period of time.
I was gonna say it's the morning. I think we ate breakfast before we headed out.
Very true. So I need to know your speed.
My speed has increased since we last did this. It's now 15.
It's a 15.
Am I faster than a Wigglytuff? That's a question. Am I slower than a Wigglytuff? Is that the question? That's the question. Is that the case?
So
what
you
is English?
Are significantly faster than this Wigglytuff.
Oh yeah. There it is. There it goes.
So Wigglytuff speed. You're allowed to know Wigglytuff stats. Wigglytuff, real great at a lot of things. Of course, my favorite Pokemon, but speed, not one of them. Wigglytuff speed is an 8.
And Wigglytuff is a few levels higher than me.
A couple levels higher, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But Wigglytuff will go at your pace.
Nah, but we're not gonna force that.
I mean, if you don't want to, of course.
No, we're not. No, we're not gonna force the older historian to move at a child's pace.
Hold up. I understand I'm older than you, but I'm middle-aged, perhaps. But you know, don't call me old yet. I got a couple of fights in my day, you know. Papa, you know what I mean? Papa.
I think what Kyle's gonna do, Kyle is gonna give Zendoran a questioning look, shrug, and then start walking at max pace and look back.
Zendoran immediately is like, oh, that's a fast Rico. Wait, I'm coming.
Kyle's only gonna stop like a few yards down the road, like not very far, just like enough to like put the distance there, but not enough to be like out of eyesight, and just and then just stand and wait for Zendoran to catch up.
And Zendoran just starts rushing in. Okay, maybe you're a little quicker than I thought.
You know we don't have to rush, right?
I suppose
we're in no rush here. We have
checks watch
10 months.
I suppose you're right. Well, I guess we get going.
Kyle like nods along, and they're gonna start walking at a leisurely pace. And I feel like if there's like nothing of note going on, Kyle's gonna be like trying to like soak knowledge from Zendoran the entire way.
Sure. Can you give me a landmark that you're heading towards, or like describe which way you're going via the map?
Are any of these like roads indicated on the map, or were these like rail lines indicated? I don't remember.
None of those things particularly matter.
Okay, fair enough.
So feel free to like describe via river or like the letters on the map.
Okay. I think, you know, Kyle and Zendoran are both pretty smart fellows. They know the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Correct.
So they're going to basically where they are is, you said they're north of like there's like a whole bunch of rivers in the Ventus region. They're north of all of them, right? Like north of the mouth of all of the rivers.
So are you looking on your map? It does have the word Ventus on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the V in Ventus, you're basically going to go like across.
Okay.
Hit the shore, and that's about it.
Okay. Yeah.
If you can see like the colored lines, there's like a red line, a red dotted line that's in that area.
Yeah. Okay, that's the shoreline where Gale Beach is.
That's Gale Beach.
Okay. So I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna travel along the river until it like bends north, and from there, that's where they cut off from the river and start going inland.
Okay, let me...
Is what I like, because the river goes east and they're trying to go east, so they're just gonna travel along the river, and when the river stops going east, they stop going along the river.
Okay, let me
It's technically like slightly north of east, but like that's pedantics.
Let me show you exactly what I mean.
I get a picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a picture real quick.
A picture.
Do 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 do.
Yeah. The one that
You can see
slightly
the words.
zigs and the one that slightly zigs and zags, but is otherwise like the most easternly river.
So are we talking the one that goes up or the one that goes to the side?
The one that goes east.
Okay, so you're following that river. So you're gonna go down, cross the first river, because
Yeah,
you're. I think if you click on the picture itself, you can see Gale Beach there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. I think what it's gonna be is like, oh, if we're all the way up there, I misunderstood where we were. Yeah. Then I guess in that case, we would just kind of just travel straight east.
Gotcha.
And just cross rivers as we get to them. Yeah. I thought we were much farther south.
Gotcha. Cool. So you are gonna travel from Gale Beach. Basically, if you just go straight east, there's a section where you're able to cross the river. That's where those dotted lines
Yeah.
go across. If you just go like direct 90 degrees, or just go straight. I don't know what I'm saying. That'll be based on Wigglytuff speed, a 2-day journey.
Oh, this is gonna be a long trek to the beach. Oh my lord. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
Ready
okay.
to go?
There are no like major cities in between us and there has to be at least some, right?
Probably. I haven't developed them yet, but of course we can kind of just roll for it.
I was gonna say like, I think for a journey this long, it would make sense to like have like destination cities.
Yeah, there definitely should be. I just haven't developed them yet, but now we can. So
Okay, we're going in that direction. We're traveling east towards like the next big city that is east.
gotcha. Let's roll to see where the city is. Anzu.
Odds?
Okay.
Was odds good?
So on the river there is a city.
Oh, perfect.
We'll do that. So
Perfect.
let's add a city, I guess. You have a name for the city? It's the Ventus region, which is wind.
Windy, yeah. Wind. What's windy? What are places in the Pokemon universe that are notoriously windy?
Verdant turf.
Is Verdant Turf windy?
Right?
I thought the whole thing with Verdant Turf is,
Doesn't it have like good wind? Isn't that why?
well, it has like clean air because it's on the opposite side of the
mountains, right?
of the what's the volcano called?
Mount.
It's-
something or other. No,
why
it's
can't
Mount something or other.
I can't remember what the volcano in Hoenn is named.
Okay, the slogan of Verdant Turf is the windswept highlands with the sweet fragrance of grass. So,
I guess it makes sense that there is wind passing through there because like the whole thing with Verdant Turf is the air is clean is because it is upwind of the volcano. So all the volcanic ash that like covers like Fall Arbor Town doesn't get blown towards Verdant Turf.
Yep.
Which is why the air is clean. I was thinking like the Valley Windworks are also clean. Or like windy, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The Valley Windworks are windy. There's definitely places in Galar that have like wind turbines and windmills and stuff, but I can't think of them. Verdant Turf, it's a combination of like greenish and grass, right?
Yep.
This is the hard part, trying to come up with fun names.
It doesn't have to be. It could be like, New York City, I guess.
It's New Ventus City.
New Ventus?
New Ventus.
New Ventus.
Oh,
City.
wait, no.
Right, we're sticking with it. Look, I've also figured out how on the map I can
Edit
show
things.
edit things and show the cities that don't matter. Because like some of them are named and some of them aren't, so I can just
Okay.
adjust
enough.
stuff.
Fair enough.
Here we go. Relocate you. I'm gonna toss you. Oops. Over here. Haha. Bang. All right. New Ventus City. Big city. Small city.
Don't
Don't worry. You won't have to do this all the time.
I was gonna say I don't feel like it's a big city, I don't think Zadoran lives near a major metropolis.
Gotcha. So New Ventus City. is a small city.
New Ventus City. It's a town.
Yeah, it's a town. Don't know why they called it New Ventus, but there we go. We'll go here and let's see.
It's the quiet little town of New Ventus City.
Yep.
Could you imagine if it was the quiet little town of New York, New York?
All right, so you guys are on your way to New Ventus City.
Done.
You're gonna head out that way. Yeah, it'll be a 2 days travel. So, yeah, I guess
2 days travel going at Zendoran's pace without losing a ton of belly.
Yep. At the night, you'll heal up the belly, so it's not that big of a concern. I need you to roll me a.
I instinctively picked up a D20 and I was like, I'm probably not rolling a D20.
Yeah, you probably will. I'm trying to look for an attribute thing. So, roll a nature check.
Oh. I rolled a 7, which means no matter what my modifier is, I failed.
All right.
Or rather, didn't pass. Is nature...
Nature's smart.
Nature is smart. Okay, yeah, so I got an 8.
Instead of talking about anything that's actually going on right now, your mind is solely focused about the fact that map felt off.
Like, I'm just so keyed in on it.
Yeah, because something about that is weird. Like, you've seen a map enough times, you know what the region looks like, you know everything seemed fine. Yet, something about that seemed off.
Like the map that Adam had.
The map that Adam had, yeah.
Does the Book of Myths have a map? Does Zendoran have a map?
Zendoran has a map.
Can I look at Zendoran's map?
If you ask him for it.
Kyle's just gonna kind of... I assume that, like, they've just fallen into, like, a lull of silence in whatever conversation they're having, and Kyle's just like, hey, real quickly, could I just check out your map real quick? I want to double check something.
Oh, sure, here. Hands you the map. It's a pretty decent sized map. You can tell there's, in like the corners, you can tell there's a Zendoran's map. There's a bunch of like notes scribbled around the borders, but for the most part, the region itself has been untouched. It's a very clear path as well, so it's not like Zendoran needs it anytime soon.
Yeah. Is there anything that like I notice on this map that looks wrong? Or looks different?
Roll investigation on this one.
You've got to be kidding me. It's a 6 plus 1 is 7.
What looks
decent. Why can't I roll today? Why can't I roll today? I rolled once and that was it.
Map looks decent, at least as far as you can tell, but you know, something about it still seems off.
Something about Zendoran's map seems off, or something about Adam's map in comparison to this map seems off?
But Adam's in comparison to Zendoran's. Zendoran's map looks like one that you just bought from the store, and Zendoran's just had it for a really long time.
It looks like the one that would be in like my textbook.
Exactly. While Adam's map, of course, being Recruits of the Losty, probably has more details and stuff like that. Those are things that you've just kind of mentally noted down, but nothing has applied as of yet. But something about the map now feels like it's off. You at this point, I'll give you this. You at this point know it's probably something old timeline versus new timeline related, but what it is, you're not able to figure it out.
I think this is something that I know you've been pushing this on me, but I think this is like something that Kyle would, you know, Kyle needs a little bit more proof to, you know, really know, like really like before he could actually like start asking more pointed questions.
Sure.
Right. And like when they were in the meeting, Kyle couldn't wrap his head around what was wrong, so he wasn't going to ask to like look at the map more closely. But I think Kyle's just going to make a mental note of like, next time I see Adam, or next time I'm in the dream world and he has the map, I'm going to ask him about this map. Something's up with this map.
Gotcha.
This map is sus.
That is basically gonna be it in terms of action. I've rolled. There's no chaos occurring at any point, so we're just gonna shift over.
Kyle's just friendlily walking along with a famous historian, just soaking up knowledge.
Is there anything that you want to ask in particular?
I don't know if there's anything like in particular, but I think like Kyle would like, because Kyle has like this copy of the Book of Myths, and he's with the author of the book. So I think Kyle would be like, hey, can you explain more about like X legend? Can you explain more about, you know,
sure.
Z story, right? And just like soak up everything.
Sure. If you have anything in specific, I will be happy to give an explanation. Otherwise, it'll just be like general knowledge stuff.
I think Kyle doesn't have any specific questions because the recruits have like a very clear plan of action. I feel like Kyle would save the specific questions for when they're like relevant. So Kyle would just like open to like a random page and just be like, hey, so this one, tell me more.
Who this guy? Who this guy? All right. Let's see. I need to figure something out.
You want me to roll a number for you?
No, I'm just mentally trying to figure out something here. Ooh, how would this work?
Wait, actually, we might be able to scrub that last bit from the record. Because I thought of like an actually like useful like lore-wise use of this interaction and these interactions. I think Kyle, what Kyle would do is Kyle would try and use this to try and like help reconcile some of the things that have happened.
Sure. Okay.
And like all these new memories that like flooded into Kyle's head in like a 2-minute time span. I think Kyle's gonna like. So I think Kyle would like start by like opening up and like asking Zador like opening up to the page about like Darkrai, just being like, hey, you know, I was just curious, and I mean, since we're gonna be traveling together for a while, I thought I might maybe pick your brain if that's okay.
Oh, sure. Of course, I'm I'm learning myself that some of the things I was initially thinking aren't exactly as accurate as I thought, but happy to help. Is there anything in mind?
Cool, awesome, yeah. So, and Kyle like flips through the pages, and like Kyle like opens up like to the index and like looks for Darkrai, and then like finds the page number, like flips. It's like, yeah. Is there anything since like this was published that like you've learned about like Darkrai? Is there anything like
Darkrai?
Yeah. And Kyle's like, you know, looking at the page and like seeing what's on the page and like asking about like specifics and stuff.
Roll for me a history with advantage.
With advantage? Oh, baby. Of course now the dice are on my side. But it's a nat 20.
A natural 20.
It's a nat 20. We take those.
Okay. How do I do this now? All right.
Tell me everything you have in the red book planned about Darkrai.
Cool.
Tell me everything. Give me infinite knowledge, infinite power.
Okie doke.
Oh wow, that was easy.
All right.
All you have to do is ask.
All right. Wait, I had to reconcile some information here, but now I think we are good to go. So, Darkrai. Darkrai's an interesting character. You guys are like walking along. At this point, I feel like you're like fully invested.
Yeah.
Darkrai is a very interesting character. You see, in historical context, Darkrai is literally the one character you don't know what side they're on until they start fighting. Fascinating character. You know, there's instances where you see Darkrai on the side of good. For example, at least I was talking about this with Adam earlier. 1,000 years ago, the last time this whole shibockle happened, Darkrai was on the good side, trying to make sure things were all right. You know, calming down the darkness that was occurring. But then there are other instances where Darkrai is not on the good side. I think the obvious example is the Keldeo legend I was telling you about a little bit before. Darkrai clearly not on the good side there.
And Kyle just got like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect opportunity. Darkrai is does everything for the right price. If that makes any sense.
Kyle just like nods along and is just like, that makes sense.
No loyalty, whichever one brings most satisfaction, whether monetarily or pure enjoyment or some benefit to Darkrai themselves, that's generally the side that they'll go for. For example, again, the one that I've probably studied the most are the Keldeo, the Legend of Keldeo, which I guess is a reality. Now the legends are real. But the Legend of Keldeo, for example, there was a massive sort of deal about this, right? The 12 Task, Keldeo and the mystical spirits that were along with them versus this dark force. It turns out to be, and at least documentation has shown this, Spiritomb backed by Darkrai. That's fascinating, isn't it? Right? Like there's that similar sort of like action occurring there as it is now. In the like Pokemon are sponsored by legendaries and stuff like that.
Kyle, like as Andoran, kind of like whites out this, and it's just like wait a second, and like flips through the book, like looking for Keldeo, and Kyle just goes, I don't remember seeing anything about mystical spirits with Keldeo. What does that mean?
Maybe you forgot when I was telling my the rendition of the Keldeo legend. It's there on the bottom page. I think it's in the appendix because I couldn't fit it. Not the appendix. The footer.
The
footnotes. Yeah, the footnotes because I couldn't fit it. And sure enough, there's like a little star, and down there like an explanation of the spirits. And these spirits are supposedly like even higher than, at least myths have built it into, like even higher than legendary status creatures that were assisting Keldeo on these tasks. This was like proof that Keldeo was the chosen one because Keldeo could hear and work with things that even the other legendaries couldn't hear and work with.
Kyle just goes, is there anything else you've learned about these mystical spirits since you published this edition? Or
Oh yeah, legend says, and it's kind of funny. It seems really like common all of a sudden. As Keldeo completed their task, there was a massive battle occurring between these two forces, right? Darkrai and Spiritomb on one side, Keldeo on the other, and it seemed out of nowhere, this massive Machamp came out of nowhere effectively and assisted Keldeo in defeating Darkrai, right? A mere mortal Pokemon defeating a legendary? It's one thing for Keldeo to do it. Keldeo's been in training, but this Machamp comes out of nowhere. It turns out that Machamp actually is one of the spirits that was helping Keldeo out. There's no explanation about it. The only thing listed down is that his name, right? It seems as the spirit faded away back to the whatever spiritisms that spirits can tend to do. Keldeo responded, legendary quote, "Let me tell you about the story of Ralph the Machamp."
Kyle just kind of is walking along and is just like, Kyle like to himself is just like thinking like, okay, so this is all real here. Kyle's mind is just like kind of short circuiting, but like he has enough awareness to be like, oh wow, that's really cool. I can't wait to see this written up in the next edition of this book.
Make an insight check.
Dirty 20.
Okay, I was gonna make you choose between the not as interesting option and the more interesting option, depending on what you had rolled.
I rolled for both.
Yeah, you rolled for both. First thing, the moment Ralph is mentioned, Manaphy starts like tugging, like trying to poke out the bag.
Oh wow! Oh okay.
Manaphy just like popping out like, "Huh, Uncle? What's up?" Nothing actually interesting from there. The more interesting thing is as Sandoran says Ralph the Machamp out loud, you can tell that Sandoran's having this like fuzzy thought in their head, just like it sounds weird. It's like a word that sounds weird on your mouth.
Interesting. Okay.
That's weird.
Kyle like makes a note of this. And Kyle like makes a note of this and just makes a mental note of like, okay, so I'm not the only. Yeah, I rolled dirty 20.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kyle makes it interesting. I think from this, Kyle understands he's not the only one reconciling memories here. Or at least that's Kyle's assumption.
You might want to try. You might not necessarily need to write that down because as Sandoran is like, Ralph the Machamp, that doesn't sound right, does it? Like looks at you at this point.
And Kyle just kind of looks at him and shrugs. Sandoran's the historian here. Who's Ralph or who's Kyle to tell him what history was like? Even though Kyle experienced this, but Kyle didn't. Kyle experienced it, but Kyle didn't experience it. We're in a weird gray area. This was a can of worms I wasn't planning on unpacking until like episode 4, but here we are.
I kind of want to leave it in interest. You rolled a dirty 20. I gotta reconcile this. Does that can't be? But it's in the book.
Kyle just gives Sandoran like a questioning look, as in like, what are you babbling on about?
No. It's sorry. This might sound ridiculous. It's funny. I had a similar sort of feeling like this when you came to me talking about the legendaries. Something just not feeling right.
Kyle just gives like a like a quizzical look, as if to ask for clarification on that comment.
And Sindoran just stops, turns to you. This is gonna sound absolutely ridiculous, and please, let me know if this sounds ridiculous. Did I know a Ralph? That's where we will end this episode.
See, I was waiting because I knew you were like, you wanted to end it on that. I knew you did. And then you were still silent. And I was like, maybe I could chime in. And the second I started opening my mouth, you're no fun. You're no
This
fun.
opens up a new can of worms that I have been very excited about because, like so many things in the show, it somehow ties in like things from way back when, and it fits in perfectly. What it is, though, you'll have to find out probably next time.
Probably,
maybe, we'll see. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I hope that you have enjoyed what is bound to be a calmer season than the last one. If
do we have any way of knowing that?
Yeah, who knows? I have been your PM, your DM, your GM, Anirudh himself.
And I've been Muhammad, playing Kyle.
And until next time, deja vu is real. There you go.